For the first time ever, Michigan is 21-1, and they do it in style with their fifth ever win by 40 or more in Big Ten play. We've got Jordan Morgan here to talk about it. J-Mo, it's a pleasure, man. How about that win? You were telling us that you got a little caffeine jolt, but I think the
Yeah.
basketball helped jolt a little bit, didn't it?
I wish it was. I wish it was a little bit more exciting, right? But man, this team is another dominant performance by this group. Fifth ever, 40-point win in Big Ten play. That's crazy. I feel like they probably have at least one or two of those as well. So it's, it wasn't a very competitive night. Let's just put it that way.
No, and Penn State came in with 7 scholarship players. They've had some injuries, some illness. Michigan battled that a little bit as well with Roddy Gale Jr. being out. He was available in case of emergency, but Michigan
Right.
made sure that was not needed. But I do think what happened in that first game had to have helped a little bit for Michigan prepping for the second one because, I mean, let's face it,
Absolutely.
Penn State was not a team that many expected to hang around with Michigan, and they had a shot to win it in State College. It seemed like this was a dialed-in group.
I mean, yeah, there's no other way to be more motivated for a game than, be on the brink of losing one, right? So, I think that's the beauty of playing in the Big Ten is you can't take any night off. And it's great to learn that lesson in a win, right? So, this group was obviously motivated. Michigan is not the team that you want to see when you only have 7 players. Roddy Gale being out, obviously you love Roddy, you want him in the game, but when you have a roster this deep, it's next man up mentality, and guys were ready. We were dialed in from the beginning, really focused and motivated.
Nimari Burnett, 31. He's the highest scoring Wolverine in a single game this year. Rez had 29 against USC. Yax had 29 against Maryland. But I thought it was so interesting because Nimari at Michigan State did not play for the final 16 minutes and 39 seconds. Yet when I saw him in the locker room, he said about the win, it's everything, and it's kind of like a dream come true to be able to win at Breslin.
Yeah.
It's kind of it just kind of feels right that a guy who had that approach, even though individually he didn't score, he didn't play much, he only played, 12 and a half minutes in that game, to come out the way that he did with 31 points. He is giving of the game, and the game gave
Yes.
back to him tonight.
He is always giving. When Nimari is on the court, I feel like a calm. You know what I mean? And so like that presence that you talk about, like you sense it as soon as he checks in the game, whether you're at the game, whether you're watching on TV. And obviously like nobody more deserving of a performance like that. I only had 2 words to say about today, which was Nimari Burnett. And how about him showing off the young legs today?
Oh, so I want to share this from, we had Elliot Cadeau come on the radio broadcast right after the game. We've had a couple of players who have swung by in recent games now that we're downstairs, and thanks to our mutual friend Tom Wyrot for his help with all of that. But this was the exchange when Terry and I talked to Elliot about that Nimari Burnett performance.
Yeah, Nimari with 31 big points tonight. Did you think he had that in his game?
Yeah, of course. I seen him do that in a bunch of practices, especially over the summer. I seen him hit 9 threes in a row in the summer, so I definitely seen he was gonna have a big game this year.
Even the dunks?
Nah, I didn't really see that.
Right.
I didn't know he was gonna dunk 3 times like that, but I knew he could get up a little bit.
And he went for a fourth too in that second half. Didn't quite get it, but hey, 6th-year senior going out there ready to rock and roll. It was a complete performance.
I think that was a career high in dunks too. I think somebody said that in the game. So
I'd be shocked if it weren't.
No, what a great performance. And shout out T-Dub too, by the way.
No doubt. No doubt. Our guy, 11 dunks in this ball game. But, Terry wanted to talk about the defensive performance too. And JMO, you were such a great interior player for this team. Have you ever seen a game where Michigan was up 12-0 in rebounds? Penn State's first rebound came 7.5 minutes into this game. I couldn't remember anything quite like that. Have you seen something like that?
No, I mean it part of the reason is offensively we're so good, right? So they're not getting any defense rebounds, and we're cleaning up the offensive glass. We start 3 centers, right? So it's like, right off the bat, we're at a huge rebounding advantage. We competed obviously with Michigan State, who's one of the best rebounding teams in the Big Ten and in the country. So That's not the team you want to play when you're down players. And I'm pretty sure they got 2 centers out too in Penn State. So, they did what they could, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt. As Michigan gets it done, and it's great to have on the broadcast with us KT Harrell, Director of Basketball Operations. He works with Mike Boynton Jr. on some of the scouts here throughout the season, including this one. KT, what's going on, man? Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. What's up, fellas? How we doing? Jordan, what's going on, man?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Can't complain, man. Especially after that, can't complain.
No.
You're rocking the new shirt, April Habits. Felt like this was one of those games where Michigan showcased those April habits, would you say?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Our mindset, really, like all the staff has been stressing just our mentality and our approach to all these games as far as maturity. And I think today, especially, like obviously Roddy being sick and obviously Penn State not being at full strength, I think we did a good job of showing our maturity and playing to our standard.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Michigan State. Those are the easy games to get up for, right?
Sure.
The April habits is like, can you get up for this February game against a team that is down and you're rolling and it's not a huge marquee game? How do you keep guys locked in on every single game? Because from what I see as a player, we compete every game and every minute, and for me, I love seeing that.
No question. And then obviously, just to add on to that, it's like, what do you want to, at the end of the game, you want to say that we've improved on something, right? So I think today, I thought we did a good job of imposing our will in the paint. We were extremely physical with them. I think the first game, I think they had 15 offensive rebounds. They had 20-something second chance points. I think we did a good job of showing up this game and showing who we really are and understand this is who we have to be every game, not against just Penn State or Michigan State. This is how we got to be going forward and continue to build off of it.
This team won Friday night in East Lansing, got a couple of days off, and came in. For everything I heard, I wasn't able to make it over to practice this week, but everything I heard was that the preparation was where it needed to be. Absolutely. How did you see this team go from, hey, everybody's telling you how awesome you are. You win 2 top 10 games, go to East Lansing, but it seemed like this group prepped well. How did you see that?
Yeah, I think we did. We were really, really locked in. We gave the guys 2 days off just so, we got obviously a veteran team. So just making sure their legs are fresh and ready to go. It's a long season. And now these games are starting to come out quick. There's not a lot of time to practice. So if you have an opportunity to take 2 days, I think you have to, especially with a group like we have, like I said, and we were able to have these couple of days of prep, this 3-day prep, and just attacked it and focused on us the first day, and obviously had our 2-day prep for Penn State. But it was great 3 days of practice, man. We were competing at a high level. These guys understand we can't take days off, man. Obviously when we have our days, we take those days off, but when we step on the court and we step into the lines, it's time to get better. So these last couple of days of practice have been elite.
Yeah. How do you, when you guys are rolling so well, right? And then you get into Big Ten play. Obviously, scouting, ratchets up a notch. I know we had some, guys were a little banged up and tighter games. You lose a home game in Wisconsin. You play with Penn State, tight on the road.
Sure.
And how do you, as a staff and as a team, internally think about these tests? Because for me as a player, I actually felt that these tests are important. You talk about April habits, right? You're not gonna be prepared for that run in April if you don't get tested here in January, February.
Man, you got it, man. The tests are so important. It's almost like I think about with my son, right, Jordan? You got kids I think about my son always talk about he needs to fail. He needs to fail. Failure is gonna be good for him. And in a sense where obviously you don't want to lose. You don't want to learn from losing. You want to learn from winning, but sometimes you need to lose to understand how important it is that you do the little things in order to win. Coach Mike always talks about we don't get to decide what it takes to win. What's required to win. We have to do those things and more if we want to be where we want to be at the end of the season. So I think the tests are great. I think the more we can be challenged and the more we understand how hard it is to win a championship. Obviously, that's the ultimate goal. I think we're going to continue to strive to do those things that are necessary to do it.
What'd you see from the defense, especially first half, where Penn State did not hit a 3 in 10 attempts? They shot sub 30%. What'd you like?
Just our physicality, man. I think we had to do a better job of guarding the ball. I think a couple times we kind of just ushered the guys to the rim and let them get easy layups. But I thought, all in all, I thought we were physical. I thought we sort of dictated a lot more than we did in the first matchup, and we rebounded the ball well. I mean, the guy was obviously he's a freak blocking shots, man. Obviously, his length bothered him a little bit, and just our switching bothered him a little bit. But we got to do better. I think we got to be better at guarding the ball 1-on-1. But all in all, I thought our physicality overwhelmed him a little bit, and I was proud of that.
It's a cold day here, right, in Michigan in February, and you're playing a down Penn State, and guys are competing until to final buzzer.
Yeah,
You know, what did it take from a staff perspective? I mean, I'm thinking all the way back to the summertime to get guys to buy in to compete on every single possession like that to the end of the game.
Oh, it starts with Coach May. Obviously, he's fiery, he's competitive, and all of our entire staff were super competitive. And I think, when you have a staff like that, it trickles down to your players, just to have them understand, like like I said before, when we step into these lines, like we can be great guys, and we got a great group of guys, really nice guys. When we step into these lines, like all that is out the window. You do what it takes to win. You do the necessary things that it takes to win, and I think all of our guys understand that. Obviously, like you said, Jordan, it starts in the summer, man, setting the tone, and I think we did that this summer. But obviously, we want to build on. Like, we're not done. Like, we got a lot of room for improvement. Like, I think I speak for most of our staff. Like, we feel like we could even play better, and so I think that's the. That's the scary part, is that I think we haven't even reached where we know we can as a team. I think our players feel that way too. So we just got to continue to just take one day at a time, man, and continue to push to try to get better and better each day.
Love the way you put it with Terry Mills at halftime, up 32, which was the highest halftime margin of the season. You called it a maturity test, and they certainly passed that. Speaking of mature, Nimari Burnett. Jordan and I were talking about what he didn't play the final 16 and a half minutes in East Lansing yet. He was as happy, as excited about that win as anybody in the locker room.
Yeah.
For him to then show up with 31, no one scored more this season for Michigan. Pretty special, wasn't it?
Oh, special, man. I kind of joked with him and said, "You're gonna need another 2 days off after ice those knees after all those dunks, man." He had like 3 or 4 dunks. I'm like, man, old man got to ice those knees, but he played well, man. I'm super excited for him. Just to, it shows a lot about, his maturity, obviously, being a veteran who's played for a long time. He didn't have a game that he thought he, really contributed or played well. And to be able to have the mentality just to bounce back after that and see that ball go in the hoop and play with such confidence, obviously, that was huge for him. And we're all proud of him. And we need him to keep continuing to build off that. It doesn't necessarily mean you score 30 points the next game, but just playing with that confidence, man, playing ball the right way, sharing the ball, moving the ball. And a lot of times when you're unselfish like that, the ball just seems to fall in like that, and you get it going, and he got it going at the right time. So it was great.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can all tell at this point, by the numbers, by just the eye test, right, that this is a special group. And Nimari is obviously a huge piece of that. But when you watch this team, it feels like everybody is like just as like this important piece that fits perfectly together. And, I think about like how you put together a team like this from evaluations and recruiting, and going back to the summer. I'd love to just hear more about how you guys put this group together, right? From a skill perspective, from a personality perspective, because it really seems like everybody is just this perfect piece of this puzzle.
Man, when I tell you our staff did such a good job of just getting the right guys in our culture and our system. I know we wanted to get tougher. I know, and we did that. We want to be able to add some length, some athleticism, and we did that. But more importantly, I think we wanted to just get guys who are super unselfish. I mean, you look at our transfer guys, Adai, Merez, Yax, EC. Those are they're the most unselfish players that you'll see in the country. And so, obviously EC could shoot a lot more if he wanted to. Yax could go somewhere and shoot a lot more shots if he wanted to. Same with Merez and Adai. Like, these dudes are just super unselfish, and it's made our team so much better as far as our toughness and our willingness to make plays for each other. So when I think about just the makeup of our team and how we built it, it was based off just bringing in guys who are talented, obviously, who are athletic, who obviously have the physical attributes, and you have to know how to play. But I think like it's about like who's going to get this ball moving, who's going to play for each other, who's not going to think about themselves when they're on the court. And I mean that's the epitome of our team right now. So
I love how the team gets behind those who don't get to play as much. Now the Maze Rage, they got aggressive. They started the "We Want Howie" chant with 11
Early,
minutes
man.
to play.
Early.
It was early.
Early.
It's a good sign for
Early.
the way the
No
game's
doubt,
going.
man. No
That was
doubt.
impressive.
No doubt.
But the Oscar Goodman performance, couple of dunks from Malik Cordell,
Absolutely.
to be able to be that team first guy, even when it's one thing when you're like a Will Cheddar, who's, you know, the best ninth man in the country. I'm not disrespecting, but he's
No
playing
doubt.
ninth
No.
most minutes.
Yeah.
But to be Oscar Goodman, Malik Cordell, Howard Isley Jr., you know, I know Winter's great, he's banged up, but he's tried to wait his turn too before the injury.
Right.
For those guys to get the opportunity to play, it's valuable, but it's also meaningful, isn't it?
Man, it means a lot. I mean, you talk about these guys obviously want to be out there. They want to contribute, but they also understand like, let me make sure I stay ready. I think that's the biggest thing that we all of us as staff keep preaching to them. Like, man, you don't know what's going to happen. Be ready. And obviously, kudos to Oscar, kudos to Malik, kudos to these young guys being ready to play. Because at the end of the day, man, we need each other. Every single person on the bench, every single person on the staff. I mean, Coach May always talks about it. No one's bigger than the team. So even the guy at the end of the bench, we need you, man. We need your energy. We need your effort. We need your voice. And so, man, I was really proud of Oscar. I was proud of Malik. I was proud of even like Trey, LJ, these guys who we need our entire team, man. We need our entire team. So I was really thankful those guys came in and contributed and played hard.
You guys are making a historic run right now. I saw the graphic on the screen before the end of the game. There's 3 teams in Michigan history started 21.
Yeah,
I was happy to be on that list.
no doubt. We got a squad. Yeah,
but you know, you guys obviously set in history, right? You're making history. How do you guys, you know, you got a big stretch in front of you, right? You got Duke on a neutral court. You got stretched down the Big Ten. You know, I think about like one of the hardest things when you're in this environment is not to listen, right? How do you block out the noise? And you know, you guys have done such a good job so far of, you know, it hasn't phased you, right? You haven't read the headlines. Like they said, don't read the headlines. And so how do you keep guys locked in to not read the headlines and stay heads down, stay focused?
It's a day-to-day battle, man. Like it's human nature, right? Like when we were in Vegas and we were beating teams, really, really, really good teams by 30 and 40, it's like you get on Twitter, you know, obviously, and people saying this is the greatest team ever. This is the greatest Michigan team ever, 1989, all this other stuff. You get to reading it and it can poison you. It can poison you. Yeah. And so we constantly trying to tell our guys, you know, and I think that's part of the reason why there was a spell where we weren't playing the way that we felt we should have been playing, not in terms of results and beating people by 30 and 40, because I think that was unrealistic, honestly. But like these teams are good. Every single team we played, Big Ten is difficult, you know, so it's like, so it's a war. The Big Ten is a war, man. So we're not just gonna be beating teams by 30 and 40, but like when you look at those things, you can sort of trick yourself into thinking like, yeah, we probably should be beating these teams by 30. Why aren't we beating these teams by 30 and 40? That's why we had a wake up call when we played Penn State the first time. It came down to one shot. We could have lost that game. And so it's just a constant battle, man. Just telling our guys like we got to take approach every day like we got to get better today. We got to get better today. And then when the next day comes, we wake up, let's get better today. You know, so I think it's just, like I said, it's a constant battle. It's human nature. Like we obviously know what's in front of us. We know what people are saying about us, but we got to block out all that noise, man, and just put one foot in front of the other and try to get better each day.
Yeah.
You had a couple years as a grad assistant at Auburn where you played. That second year was an SEC regular season championship. Then you go be a Dobo with Dusty at FAU, Final Four, then an NCAA tournament the next year, and now you're here. Can you share with me why you think Dusty is as successful as he is and why he has been able to climb as quickly as he has, as you absorb as much as you can as you start what will be a long and fruitful coaching career?
Sure, man. I think I tell people all the time that one of his greatest skills is that he's one of the most selfless people I've ever been around, and for who he is as a coach. And I believe he's one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the country. He never talks about himself. It's always about his staff. It's always about his players. And it's genuine, man. You know, you have people who say that and don't really mean it, and they behind closed doors they make it about themselves. Dusty is the complete opposite of that, man. And I think in that, you know, his players want to play hard for him. They love him. They care for him. His staff wants to we all want to be the best we can for him because he's truly selfless. And I think that skill in itself, obviously he has all the the knowledge, the X's and O's, and all that other stuff. He can do that with the best of them. But like for him to just be a guy, a real human being, and understand like this is bigger than ball. Like I want to do this with good people, be around good people, help good people get to where they want to go. I think that's what makes him great.
All right, Casey, I got one more. It's not Michigan basketball related. It's Super Bowl week, so I gotta ask. The Super Bowl pick, man.
Man, look, I don't have a dog in the fight. Unfortunately, man, I'm a Cowboys fan. Don't hate me for it. Don't hate me for it. But if I had to choose, I'll probably go with the Seahawks. I feel like the Seahawks, their defense is legit. And I'm not really crazy about the Patriots, man. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. Plus, one guy, a guy on our staff, Jacob, our analytics guy, he's a big Seahawks fan. So I'm gonna roll with my dog.
And Jacob seems as he's dug into the analytics a little bit. I think he used one of those off days. I think he likes the Seahawks chances.
No doubt.
And shout out to him. Make the numbers say what you wanted to say.
Oh,
no doubt.
Yeah,
No
I think the Cowboys and my Browns need some of those numbers to go the other way.
Bad, B. We need a bad, B. We need a bad, man.
KT, man, really fun to do. I know Krista, your wife, sent the link out, so we say hello to the family who are all watching this, man. It's been awesome to see you continue to grow in this role, and glad you're doing some of this media stuff, man. You're doing great at it.
Man, B, appreciate you having me, man. Appreciate you guys as always. Super thankful to be here, and as always, go blue.
No doubt. There's KT Harrell. Appreciate him stopping by. JMO, you mentioned that 20-1 start. With your team, the 2018-2019 team. This was the first one to get to 21-1. So It's so interesting in a game where I was actually thinking about it just before. I had my own self-critiques on the broadcast. I forgot to mention that. And it's almost because you just kind of assume, because this team just continues to win. I don't want to say routine, because this was a really fun game and Nimari's performance and all that. But KT mentioned the poison of the outside noise. When you're in the midst of a truly special season, how difficult is it to balance the everyday focus with also, hey, you're young, you are accomplishing something that so few get to do. You want to try to enjoy it when you can. Were you able to? How do you do that?
I think it kind of ends in the locker room, right? I think especially when you're a part of a good group, you got a good leader like Dusty or like Coach B, like we had, they do a good job of keeping you focused and keeping you locked in. But I think also another thing that great leaders do is let you celebrate for that moment. Let's celebrate right now in this locker room, right? But as soon as we hop on that plane, as soon as we come into practice tomorrow, that one's behind us. We're moving on to the next one. I think KT said something really great, which is one day at a time. Can we get better every day? Can we get better every game, right? When you're winning, you got to try to learn from wins, which is a lot harder than learning from losses, right? So I think the everyday approach, and I don't know, when you have a special group, it's like it starts from the top, but you don't really have to talk about it too much. Everybody's just dead focused on a bigger goal, and everyone feels that.
By the way, happy birthday to Coach B. It's his birthday today, in addition to Oscar Goodman, who got serenaded by the Maze Rage. Terry Mills on the broadcast has said a few times that he is kind of living vicariously a little bit through this group because he sees some of those same signs. And I know he had those similar moments with some of your teams, with that Jordan Poole shot and the run in 2018 with Rockman and Robinson and Wagner and all those guys. How do you watch games now that you're not playing anymore? You're supporting the team. Are you more fan? Are you more former player? How do you digest all of this, especially in close games? Maybe say Friday night when Michigan was up in East Lansing.
Well, I'll tell you what. This team has made me a fan, right? They have been, honestly, they've been a pleasure to watch, and it's not just a scoreboard, right? Like some of the things that we talked about with KT is like, I love watching this team compete for 40 minutes. Like we're up 30, and guys are like guarding hard to the half court line. Like, and for me, like that's fun to watch. They're sharing the ball. They're unselfish. Like that's fun to watch. So they made me a fan. I was really nervous in that Michigan State game. I don't even know if I want to use the word nervous, but like I felt in that moment when Michigan State took the lead in the second half, And it was like one of those moments where as a former player, that moment I felt like a former player was, I'm going to watch and see how this team responds, right? And respond they did, but that moment was telling of what this group is what potential this group has, because I don't was it 4 wins in 25 years up there or something like that, and for you to be in that situation, let them go on this run and take the lead back and respond the way that we did, I think says way more about this group than the 30 and 40 point wins. So
100%. Yeah. And doesn't matter if you win that game by 1 or 31. This one tonight, Michigan needed to take care of business emphatically. Yes. Penn State came in shorthanded. I think Mike Rhodes is a pretty good coach. I think they've tried to zig when others have zagged with young players. But if you get banged up, you're playing behind the 8 ball, and Michigan came in hungry. I thought what they did in the first meeting is a sign that they're doing something right there in a tough spot, tough job, all of that. As you look forward, this team's 21-1. Mm-hmm. They only have 3 home games left, mm-hmm. 6 on the road, or 5 road games, 1 neutral against Duke. Nitpick a little bit for me. What are areas that you want to see this team grow in as they try to set themselves up to try to contend for a Big Ten championship?
I mean, first of all, one of the things that stood out to me about that graphic, right, of those 3 teams that hit 20-1 was we in 2013 went 5-5 after that. And 2018 was 6-4, right? So we're in the meat of the meat and potatoes of this schedule right now. And it's gonna say a lot about this team. It's gonna be a hard run, but ideally it prepares them for a deep tournament run. As far as nitpicking, I have such a hard time criticizing this team. You talk about the turnover sometimes. I mean, that's really honestly at this point, that's kind of it. Sometimes, maybe some defensive lapses. I don't love our switching defense all the time. I think which game? I was just at one of the games and we were like giving up a lot of backdoor cuts and I think it was Ohio State maybe. We were giving up a backdoor cuts and threes off of some switches. So lack of communication in our switching has been a little bit lackluster. But outside of that, this team is really hard to criticize because I don't want to say they don't have any weaknesses, but it's really hard to find them. I mean, they have length, they have athleticism, and they play hard, they defend, they can shoot. They can drive. I mean, they pass well. So there's not a lot of gaps in this team. And when we're focused and when we're on, I guess that would be the other criticism is which team shows up. And that even is we are remarkably consistent. This team shows up to play hard most of the time. So it's just a hard team to criticize, honestly.
It's a good problem. That's a first world problem there, JMO. Not bad.
Seriously.
Before we wrap things up, you were here for the Trey Burke jersey honoring. Just take us through that from your standpoint with such a beloved teammate and someone who accomplished so much along with that really special 2013 team.
Yeah, I mean, we had the chance for everybody to be back in town, be back together, and seeing Trey's jersey go up kind of felt like we all have this place up there, right? But not to take anything from him because what he did was remarkable. And I mean, one thing that stands out about his jersey being up there is the 2 years that's on that jersey. So he accomplished a lot in a short amount of time. And in my opinion, one of the best college basketball players ever. So very well deserved. But again, it felt special to all of us to be a part of that history, what we did during that time. And, it also felt like it gave us an opportunity while we were all back there to look back on that time, because when you're in it, you don't necessarily appreciate the gravity of what you're doing. You know what I mean? And now we're, 10, 11, 12 years removed. And now you have this opportunity to reflect and understand and appreciate how important that was for Michigan, how important that was for all of us individually and as a group, and to everyone, from the staff and everyone that it affected. It was such a special time in so many people's lives. And it just gave us the opportunity to reflect on that with a lot of appreciation.
Yeah, and there's some teams where you kind of know, right? We learned early with your team in 2013 and 14. We've learned with this team, last year's Michigan team, we knew it was improved, but there were a lot of close wins. If we're going into the analytics, the Pythagorean record probably wasn't as good for Michigan as what actually was. Michigan won a lot of close games. But knowing now I've had a lot of people say to me, and I understand the sentiment because, Michigan's playing well. They're humming along. Can't wait to get to March. Get it. But also, this type of season does not come around. Again, it's the first 21-1 start in program history. They just won their 5th ever game in the Big Ten by 40 or more points. I'm hopeful, and I think Michigan fans have done a good job of this because it was so obvious so quickly that this team was special to enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Because we've got what we have in front of us right now is this incredible wrapped up present. We don't know what the final result's going to be.
Yeah.
But it's really tough. Only one team gets to celebrate on that Monday night.
Yeah.
And no matter what happens, this team has a special legacy available to it. I hope fans are enjoying the ride as much as I think you and I have, because what they're doing looks easy, but is not easy.
Yeah. I mean, like, as an ex-player, I have conversations with the guys that I know on the team, and I'm just like, take advantage and like finish the job. Like, we made it to the finals, and as great and as special as that was, like, imagine the cherry on the top. And there's so many things outside of your control, whether they call a block or a foul, right? Like, or different scenarios.
Just as a for instance.
Yeah, exactly. But you have something special. Give it everything, but there's obviously, like, there are some things that are going to be out of your control. So to your point, we as fans, we have to enjoy it because it is a special time, and it's a fun group to watch. They make it easy to enjoy, honestly.
What are you up to now? And are you going to be able to make any NCAA tournament games if this goes the way we hope it goes, which would be Buffalo to Chicago to Indianapolis?
I definitely will make some NCAA tournament games. Me personally, so I played for 11 years. This is my first full retired season. I'm kind of navigating post retirement right now. I live here in Ann Arbor. I have a 1-year-old son, Leo, who loves basketball and loves Michigan basketball, and life's pretty good.
That's awesome. How's the form? How's the shot for Leo?
It's better than mine. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, J-Mo, really appreciate this, man. We'll hopefully have you on, maybe live in person for one of these in the NCAA tournament if you, me, and Terry are both able to from a consumption standpoint. That'll be the goal. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Looking forward to finishing this out. But I appreciate you. The inside baseball to this was J-Mo was scheduled for the Wisconsin game. So I'm really glad we got you back for a make good here. Great stuff, man. That was a lot of fun.
And then let me just say, that Wisconsin game gave me PTSD. And I don't know how good people's memories are, but my career against Wisconsin was full of games like that. From the Gasser game winner off the backboard and half court buzzer beaters to go to overtime. And it was like literal PTSD that day. So
there have been some wild ones with Michigan and Wisconsin over the years. Truly wild. Yeah, they got back, but Michigan's got a banner up from the Wisconsin game in March. So I guess it all evens out. And like you said earlier, Michigan had a little punch. Yeah. They had to overcome some adversity because they weren't playing very well. That was the game after Penn State.
Yeah.
And we were talking about before we hopped on. I know a lot of people have said, well, they should have won the Wisconsin game, and could have. I agree, but they probably should have lost the Penn State game. It all evens out, and Michigan got some get back against the Nittany Lions today.
Yeah, exactly. So these are necessary. These are necessary tests, and it'll pay off in March.
100%. Well, J-Mo, appreciate you stopping by. Thanks to Josh Stoller for his great work as always with these, and thanks to KT. Really enjoyed getting his insight after a dominant victory for Michigan. I'm Brian Bush. We'll have the audio version of Defend the Block up here in about an hour or so. Thoughts from Elliot Cadeau, Oscar Goodman, the birthday boy, Dusty May, and LJ Case, and all of that to come. We'll get ready for Michigan and Ohio State on Sunday. For J-Mo, I'm Brian. Thanks for watching, and go blue.
Go blue.